What is up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 8 of our Team Sky career mode, where today we have the last two stages of the Tour of Norway where we need a stage win to keep our sponsors happy and get back into that blue. And we will also have a few stages from the Dauphine, the Tour de Suisse, and we will have all of the national championships today. No time trials because I am terrible at those, and I will most likely simulate all of them. Despite two of them being objectives, doesn't seem like a great strategy, but we'll see what happens when that time comes around. But up first, we have Stage 3 of the Tour of Norway, a 168.9 kilometer flat stage, but it has a nice little ramp up to that sprint finish there, so Ben Healy, Tom Gloag, Max Poole, like any of these guys, could theoretically win this stage. We just have to make sure we're in the right position there at the end. And we are here with 10k left to go. Ben Healy just taking up the front. X and DSM really trying to box us in, but we are going to ramp up our speed just a little bit to try and stay in front of them. We're trying to work for Connor Swift and Antonio Tiberi today, but Bahrain Victorious looks like they have different plans, as UAE also coming up on the inside. We're going to come over here and try and cut off this X train because they've been doing enough of that to us, and Connor Swift actually loses the back of Ben Healy. So with 5k left, we're going to go ahead and pop our energy gels on everyone and try and get Ben Healy to the front, but now it looks like it's just a little too crowded. Maybe if we pop over to this right side, see if anybody can follow us. So now Healy, we can move him up to about 95. There's 2.5k left to go. We're going to try and move up this hill at 99, maybe move it back down to 95. We're going to go ahead and sprint with Ben Healy, sprint with Connor Swift, sprint with Antonio Tiberi, and sprint with Max Poole. And we might have gone just a little bit too early because Matteo Trentin is going to go ahead and take stage 3. And Soren Werenskold will come in second. Connor Swift and Max Poole third and fourth. So close again. And it's going to come down to stage 4 to see if we can hit our sponsor objective. And no change in the general classification as Wout van Aert still in first place, Tiberi and Poole in second and third, and Ben Healy moves up into the top 5, and Connor Swift sitting there in 7th. So we are well placed. We just need that stage win. And we have made it to the final stage, stage 4, 151.0 kilometer flat cobble stage, but it has a little hill there at the end and a cobbled sprint finish, which might suit somebody like Connor Swift. We can see if we can get Ben Healy up that hill first. We have options here, and we have 3 riders in the top 5, so if things go our way, we might just be looking at a shot at a GC victory over Wout, and maybe the stage win that we desperately need. And we are here with 15.5k left. Tom Gloag in position, looking to launch Ben Healy. We do have a plan made. We want to try and make Wout chase down Ben Healy and then win the sprint with Connor Swift, because GC really isn't at the top of our list, but a stage win is, as we know by now, definitely needed. So with about 4.5k to go to the top of that climb, we're going to pop the energy gel on Ben Healy. We're going to let... Oh no, that's not what we wanted to do. We're going to set Tiberi to just, follow everybody. Let's hold position at 92. He's not doing that, as Ben Healy up this final little climb is gonna go ahead and launch himself as hard as he can go and try to get over the top in first. Right now he does have a 21-second gap back to the peloton. Tiberi also in good position, so now we can try to save a little bit of the red bar on Ben Healy, try to keep this gap right now at 33 seconds to the group behind. I don't know if it's going to be possible. We do need a little bit of the red bar, but right now I think constant effort is probably the way to go. And T-Berry is going to have to move Connor Swift up. But Ben Healy right now being chased down from all directions. And it looks like Jumbo-Visma isn't even the one trying to pull him back. But with 0.5 kilometers left to go, Ben Healy pops his sprint over the cobbles and will get us our stage win on stage 4. The rest not too important. We'll get the same time as everybody else, I think. But Ben Healy, first place, gets us our sponsor objective. I was panicking there towards the end of this race. And there is Ben Healy on the top step of the podium, actually given the same time as everybody behind, which is a little bit of a bummer, because with the bonus seconds, and it looked like we had a 14-second gap when we crossed the finish line, we would have been tied with Wout van Aert, I believe. But now, no, it's a 24-second gap. But if you look at that, we have Ben Healy in second, Antonio T-Berry in third, Max Poole in fourth, Connor Swift in sixth. Another great race. We're just not on Wout's level yet, which is understandable, honestly, but a great, great clutch win for Ben Healy. As Antonio T-Berry actually takes best climber. We have Max Poole and Oscar Onley in the top 5 as well. If we look at points, it's going to be Wout van Aert, Max Poole, our best in fourth. Young rider Ben Healy, Antonio T-Berry, Max Poole, 1, 2, 3. I think that about says it all about the direction that Team Sky is going in. And our team classification, of course, we are on top over Soudal Quick-Step by 1 minute and 6 seconds. And after the Tour of Norway, it has ticked over to the month of June, which means it is transfer dossier time. And as we said last episode, I think we have to say goodbye to Matteo Jorgensen. The 6-star potential, it's killing me inside to trash his dossier, but with how good he is right now, he's going to be demanding a lot more money. I don't think we're going to be able to sign him. And with 20 points, that's taking up a lot of resources. We can get at least 2 more good riders interested in our team. I think for now we're going to have to close the dossier for Matteo Jorgensen and see what we can do with our 30 points. And we do have a bunch of points to play with, but we also have to keep in mind the salaries. Right now we are not in the blue for our sponsors, and we're going to have to work hard to get that back to where it is, but I think Tao Geoghegan Hart is going to price us out. He's already on $82,000 a month. I assume he's going to want more as he is only 28 years old. And Geraint Thomas, much of the same. He's on $137,000 a month, and we can't come anywhere near that. Even though he might take a little bit less wages, he's already 16 to 30% interested. I don't think he's realistic, so we have to look at other options. And I think those options, Pavel Sivakov is one of them. I know somebody in the comments said he's a beast this year. We might want to try that out, but 15 points is pretty steep when you can get somebody like Laurens de Plus, who might not be as polished, but he can still get the job done for what we're looking for. If we go down, Carlos Rodriguez was also mentioned in the comments. I completely skipped over him. I think he would be a terrific option for us to look at. I can't see anything really wrong with him. Prologue's a little weak for our liking, but I think he has to be considered a strong contender to join us as a GC candidate. And the other one is a favorite of mine, Ilan van Wilder. He's kind of an all-arounder. He's not spectacular, but he is better than Tom Gloag, who is our best option right now. And I think he could add a little bit more quality to our team. And in the end, I decided to go with 2 riders that look like they could be affordable. We could probably be able to pull in probably 2 of these 3, either Ilan van Wilder, Santiago Buitrago, or Carlos Rodriguez. If we're going to be riding the Grand Tours next season, we need multiple leaders who can do a little bit of everything. I think Van Wilder, Buitrago, Rodriguez, any one of them could pull off a top 5, maybe a podium on any of those Grand Tours. So that's the thinking right now. And as Dossier season goes on, we'll look to add some strength to our cobble team as well. And we have skipped ahead all the way to the final stage of the Criterium du Dauphiné. Max Poole, 9th place, Antonio Tiberi in 13th. A good place for us to be right now, but I take a look at stage 8. I see a few mountain climbs. I see a long descent into a final little climb, and I think of one man, a world-class descender, Chris Froome, who's in a fitness peak. He's about 17 minutes down from the lead, so nobody's going to look to chase too hard to pull him back. And I'm thinking maybe, if the cards fall just right, this could be Chris Froome's best day in a Team Sky jersey since the late 2010s. And over the first few climbs, we have Paul Double and Chris Froome in a breakaway that is 9 minutes ahead of the peloton. So a great start for our little plan here. We'll have to see if it holds until the end of the race. And with 24k left, we are at the bottom of the Col du Port. It looks like the guys who have been going for those climbers points are a little bit winded. And Mikkel Landa also in this group, so it's by no means an easy win for Chris here, but we're going to have to be on our guard all the way up this last climb, as we're going to go ahead and pop the energy gel already because we want to create some separation at the top of this climb. Sorry, just trying to watch everything that's going on here. Madwa, Landa, trying to make moves, but we can get in front, slow the pace down, see if we can recover a little bit of stamina so we can stay with this group to the top as they put in a little dig. And we're going to follow our energy gel pops a little bit sooner than we'd like, but we still have a 5.5 minute gap to the group behind us, which includes Max Poole and Antonio Tiberi. And we have 3k to the top: Madwa, Landa, Barguil, Micah, and ourselves. And it looks like they're probably struggling a little bit more than we are right now, so we might look to take the front sooner rather than later. Maybe with about 2.5k to go, we can set our pace to, let's go 65, see if that hurts the other guys a little bit. 2k to the top, a minute back to E2. I have no idea who's in that group, but hopefully it's no one that's going to try and catch us on this downhill. If Mohoric is in there, I will be distraught. But Landa, also a terrific descender in this game. But the 1 kilometer to go banner flies, and we're going to up our pace to about 85. We want to dump everything just as we get to the top of this mountain, and we're going to go ahead and attack now. We can't, so we're going to set it to 99, create a little bit of separation. Our red bar ends at the perfect time, and we're going to get on the start of this downhill with about a 25-second gap to the group behind. And we have reached the bottom of the final climb, still 25 seconds over the group behind. Froome with a large amount of stamina left. We recovered pretty nicely there, and only 1.2k to go to the top. I'm assuming it's going to be Mikkel Landa trying to chase us down, but with 0.8 kilometers left to go, it might be too little too late for them, as we can ease up a little bit. We don't want to run that yellow bar out a little too soon, and it looks like it just went, so we're going to have to cut it down even further to 65. We need to keep some kind of pace to the top, maybe to 45. No, it's Warren Barguil and Mikkel Landa as Chris Froome cracks on the final climb. But the plan worked. It went the way we wanted it to. Just the ending was a little off. Chris Froome gets his podium in stage 8 of the Dauphiné. But unfortunately, it was just a little too far for Chris Froome. And after that disappointment, it gets compounded here with the transfer dossiers. Carlos Rodriguez asking for 5 more points, and I do not think he is a 17-point rider. He does look good, but I think they're comparable options for cheaper points-wise and salary-wise, so we're going to have to say goodbye to the idea of Carlos Rodriguez on our team. Once again, Jorgensen and Rodriguez, this is pretty brutal, but I cannot justify having 17 points on Carlos Rodriguez when I could invest my points in 2 12-point riders. So I think that means we're going to go ahead and maybe Laurens de Plus, but he is a little expensive salary-wise. We might just have to take a look at some of the not as talented right now options, but guys who are going to be good in a year or two. And in the end here, we have replaced Carlos Rodriguez with Laurens de Plus, Ide Skelling, trying to get a little bit more talent for our Cobbled Classics team, and Jan Christen, the 18-year-old Swiss that, I mean, he looks pretty good already. Get his stamina up, and he could be a real threat in the future. And with 5.5 stars of potential, he can definitely get there, and quick. And that will bring us to stage 6 of the Tour de Suisse, the one stage we will show. It is a 209.9 kilometer hill stage that looks perfectly suited for Ben Healy, Connor Swift, Fred Wright. Fred Wright also sitting in 14th place right now, so we're going to go ahead and give this stage everything we've got, try and move him up the leaderboard. And with 16k to go, the front group of 9 riders still has about a minute and a half on us. Oscar Onley is pulling Josh Tarling, already done for the day, as it looks like it's going to be Connor Swift and Fred Wright going to be our best options there towards the end. We're going to have to use a little bit more energy than we would like to try and chase this group down, and it looks like we are making inroads now, but we might be using Ben Healy a little bit too early, which I really would like to avoid, but I don't see any other option than to just go ahead and switch Ben Healy to the front right up this last hill. And it looks like that decision will pay off, as now Connor Swift and Fred Wright going to be in a great position here towards the end, as Healy breaks away a little bit. That's not ideal. And now we are definitely not where we would like to be stamina-wise, as Connor Swift can go ahead and follow Nielsen Paulus over this last climb. Hopefully we didn't just miss the winning move. And with 5k to go, Nielsen Paulus was caught, thankfully. We have popped both our energy gels on Connor Swift and Fred Wright. We're going to keep this pace high and just try and smash this final climb, as we'll move Connor Swift up to 92 already. We'll get ready for Fred Wright's sprint here in just a few seconds. But right now, Connor Swift getting a little left behind. We're going to pop him up to 95. And we can't sprint just yet with Fred Wright. We made a little mistake there. But 92, and with about 0.4 left, we can go ahead and start his sprint. We're not going to be able to come around. A mistake there on my part towards the end is going to let Egan Bernal come in first in front of Nielsen Paulus, Giulio Ciccone, Alexis Viermos. But Fred Wright, top 5, just ahead of Wout van Aert. I mean, you really can't be mad at that. And we will start our national championships with the Italian National Road Championships. It's an objective, a rather important objective for the season. We need to get a top 10. Antonio Tiberi is going to be our man to try and do it. If it's a small field, I'll try and get Piganzoli into the breakaway just to kind of hedge our bets. But I don't think this is going to be one for the breakaway, so Tiberi looks like he should be pretty comfortably finishing in the top 10, so I guess it's on me to not screw it up. And at the base of the last climb, Ballerini is off the front by 40 seconds, but Antonio Tiberi is sitting in really well with this group as People Ghana decides to take up the chase. We're absolutely going to jump on that wheel. But I don't know if Tiberi is going to have the strength to stay with this group till the end. Right now we're going to have to move it down to 85 and maybe let Ghana and Formolo go. Shikone, Kovi also making moves. We might have used a little bit too much of our energy following Ghana there. But it's important we stick with this little front group right until the end. And hopefully some of these riders that are here with us will fall off as we have officially caught Ballerini. And now it's going to be Formolo who decides to make a move. Shikone trying to follow. And right now the name of the game is just sit, wait. We don't need to win this. We just need to finish in the top 10 right now. We're in the group of 16. Our odds are looking pretty good. We have a decent sprint. But with about 8k left to go, we're going to have to probably attack up this last little climb just to stick in front. And it looks like we are getting away from Shikone a little bit, but we're going to have to get some red back on this downhill just because there's a tiny little flat. It's us and Shikone right now. Formolo barely out in front, just dangling his lead out there. But right now we have to move the energy up a little bit more just to get through this flat stage on terms with these guys. And it's a close battle right now. I don't know if that little attack there towards the end was the smart decision. But with about 2 left, I'm gonna use the energy gel even though I know it's too late. And with about 1.6, we're gonna go ahead and start our sprint. It is a downhill finish, so the top 10 looking pretty good for Antonio Tiberi. We won't become the national champion, but again, all we're looking for is that top 10. Formolo comes across the line, followed by Sobrero, Shikone, People Ghana, Alessandro Covi, and Antonio Tiberi gets our objective, getting there in 6th place. And up next we have the Irish Road Championships, 175.9 kilometer hilly stage. It looks perfect for Ben Healy and Darren Rafferty, our 2 Irish riders. We're going to try and get Rafferty into the break at least, if we can't get Ben Healy, because this one's most likely going to the breakaway. And we managed to get both of our riders in the breakaway. There's only 13 riders, so we already have a 7-minute gap to the group behind us with 150 Ks left, and it's looking like this is going to be a move that sticks. The only other team that has 2 riders in here is Bora, and Ryan Mullen is up here with us, but with Ben Healy on our team, I don't think anybody else really stands a chance here. And with 15k left, we are on the second to last hill, and nobody in this group really looking like they're going to be a problem for Ben Healy, so we're just going to kind of sit in, wait for this last climb, and then really ramp it up, as Ryan Mullen is really our only competition, and his hill stat is 68. Everybody else pretty weak. We did use Darren Rafferty just to keep the pressure on and not let anybody get away. But with 10k left, it's looking like this is all Ben Healy's race. And with 6.5k left to go, we have officially started the last climb, Turlough Hill. 6.6 kilometers at 4.9%. Ben Healy just taking it nice and easy right now. If we turn it up to 85, we can definitely keep with this group. And pretty soon here we're gonna pop our energy gel and just start our attack. As it looks like the rest of these guys are gonna struggle to follow us at about 3.5k. We're gonna go ahead and pop our energy gel, crank it up to 87, wait for the energy gel to take effect, and just go ahead and attack. probably with about 2K left, I'm assuming. And I don't want to get too close to the sprint, but right now I think is a great time to make the use of our energy gel, and we do get a 25-second gap almost instantaneously, and we can go ahead and use that hill stat to get up to 92, sprint across the line, and Ben Healy's gonna throw his hands up early and celebrate another Irish national championship. And because Oyer Lozcano's fitness is at 67%, the Spanish national championships will not be raced because he's really our only option there. So our last race of the episode, the big one, the UK national championships, or Great British national championships, we're really going to be looking to lean on Connor Swift and Fred Wright here. It is our major objective of the season, well, second major objective of the season, but the Tour of Britain doesn't really count because it's at that point afterwards where you've already got your budget for next season and you're signing people, so it's just kind of like a token major objective. This is our 3.5 star to top 5 the national championships, and with the squad we've got right here, I think we have a pretty decent chance. And with just under 20k to go, there are 5 riders up the road, all looking pretty dangerous, and we're going to have to bring them back immediately. This is the last circuit of the day, so Fruby, sorry buddy, you're going to have to use all your energy. Connor Swift did have a fall, unfortunately, but we're going to get him on the back of Tom Gloag there, and we have 16 kilometers left to chase down this front group, and I don't know if that's going to be possible. There's Ben Swift trying to pull it back as well as Leo Hayter. He's going to have to go on 92 up this last hill. Froome, he's just going to have to kind of do his own thing. We really need to pull back. Hugh Carthy's the one I'm worried about. Simon Yates also up there. But right now we are looking like we have a okay shot. Nothing's guaranteed just yet, but we're going to have to crank the pace even more. Fred Wright, he's going to actually go behind Oscar Onley if he can. But I don't think that's a possibility right now for some reason. Maybe a little bit of a glitch there. But it is going to be Fred Wright to go ahead and take over with 9.6k left. Leo Hayter, I would call his job done. So Fred Wright 20 seconds to the group in front. It does look like we are going to catch them, and Oscar Onley is going to be in a great position. Fred Wright though, going to be absolutely gutted for him to lose his what is going on here? Okay. Going to be gutted for Fred Wright to lose his national champion jersey, but I think right now anybody will really do, as Oscar Onley looks to be our best placed rider for this, and Ineos struggling to keep up with our pace. That's Tom Pidcock trying to make an attack on the descent. We're not going to let that happen, and we're going to come around. It's going to be a downhill. There's going to be a nice little uphill right towards the end that we're going to go ahead and sprint with all of our riders on. Right here, Tom Gloag going to go. Connor Swift going to start his sprint. And can it be Oscar Onley, Tom Pidcock? It's going to be Oscar Onley, your new British national champion. Fred Wright in third, Tom Gloag in fourth, Connor Swift in fifth. Domination from Team Sky once again. And after the national championships, you can see our sponsors are absolutely full of confidence. So that is good news for our budget for next season. But for the time being, I wanted to say thank you for watching the episode. Thank you for the support. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to subscribe, leave a like. I put out one episode of this every weekend, and I put out at least one episode of our Pro Cyclist mode every Tuesday and sometimes a Thursday, depends on life events and stuff like that. But until next time, I will see you later.